Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 7, Driftmark. Skidmark? Driftmark. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you feel like gambling or you just feel lucky, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All right. What does Penn say here? Olivia Cook posed in both black and green lingerie for a Savage X Fenty campaign. I know almost nothing about Rihanna, but it was some brilliant marketing. I like her lingerie. I like her lingerie too. Hey, Raymond, don't worry. I just came on, so it's all good. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. All right, just getting started here, Raymond. Waiting for everyone to pause if they need to go or whatever they need to do. But yeah. All right. No, Raymond, I'm just getting started here. So, wow. So I don't know about anybody else. I know I read in the news, I saw that a lot of people were pissed off because of uh what was it, about three quarters of this fucking episode was shrouded in darkness. At one point I was thinking of putting something over the over my camera to kind of mimic that as well, but I didn't want to subject you through that. Um, I just remember the brothel scene, what was that, episode 2 or 3, somewhere around there, where, Damon has taken, you know, his niece down to the brothel down there, and, uh, you can't see shit. I mean, at all. And supposedly this was a stylistic choice, is what they said. An artistic choice is what HBO has said. I wish they would stop with the artistic choice, because I stopped. I was watching it and I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna do this again. So I have these ambient lighting that I have so that I can turn off the overhead lights that I have here, and not break my toe, when I can't see anything. So that's what I did, is I turned on the ambient lighting, turned off the overhead lighting, and I could kind of see what was going on, at least. I was almost in near darkness at that point. Um, but yeah, I could make out what was happening somewhat on the screen. So I think Scooby Doo found the old man Smithers. He was trying to take over Driftmark. Is that right? Or no? Oh, wait, that was a different thing altogether. No. Raymond says, "Oh man, there were a lot of close-up soap opera shots too." Yeah, there were. This was not the best directed episode, shall we say? But it had the most happening in all of this. It was the most story wise, I guess you could say. So we're going through the funeral of Lady Lena Valerian, and they're back at Driftmark. Everyone's back at Driftmark. They're having the funeral where basically they drag this gigantic stone coffin with her body in it into the water, and that's where we're at. So pretty much everyone is seething, ready to go at each other's throats, because it's a funeral after all, and that's what happens at funerals. Everyone goes after each other. Same thing with weddings, birthdays, Arbor Day. You name it, you get family together. Usually, if there's bad blood going on between family, something bad's going to happen. So, what does the little shit Damon do? But he ends up going out to Lady Lena's dragon, former dragon, I guess you could say, since she's dead now. Um, and he ends up riding it. Well, he ends up calling it, he ends up, yeah, he ends up taking ownership of the dragon of Wagner. So and that's it's kind of comical in a way, but also kind of not when he's trying to write it. It's a long drawn out scene of a boy hanging on to a dragon for dear life. Vagar, thank you, Vagar. That's what it is, Raymond. I didn't have that in my notes there, and I had it in the other section here. That's the video um, prompts. Anyway, um, so yeah, I am just like, all right, that was a long drawn out scene. I actually watched the after, credits, where the producers are talking about it, and they said they wanted to have fun with a boy and his dragon, and I'm like, yeah, you guys had a little too much fun with it. It was very long and drawn out, didn't need to be. But the aftermath of it, of Eamon coming in and just, strutting his shit to his well, is it his niece now? I guess they are his nieces. Yes, they are his nieces. So Reina and Bela, and they're pissed off because Reina's like, or Bela's like, no, Reina was the one that said that was my dragon to claim, and he says, well, then you should have claimed it. And she goes to punch him, and he's pushing back, and of course, Lucerys is there. Um, Jacaerys is there as well, and that's where the bastard allegation comes out. And Jacaerys, of course, pulls a knife because that's what you bring to family affairs, right? Is a knife, when you're going to do that, and slices Aemon's face, and takes out his eye as well. It's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. And so this, of course, brings out the adults in all of this. And um the queen wants an eye for an eye. She wants Jacaerys's eye. She even goes so far as to tell Sir Cole to go and grab his eye. And Sir Cole luckily looks over at Sir Hammond, and Sir Hammond's like, "You better not fucking move, asshole." And Sir Cole says, "I'm your protector and guardian," is what he tells her. I'm not there to basically go out and do some, dastardly shit for you. So there is a line that he won't cross that we see at this point. Dante says, I'm ready for the war. I got it. These people are salacious. Yes. Dante also says, Eamon actually did the smart thing. He was high off confidence and became a jerk afterwards. Yes, true. Um, so of course the queen, Alicent takes umbrage to the king ignoring again that these kids are not we know they're bastards. We know they're bastards. I mean, come on. Uh there's nobody that's being fooled by this at all. We know they are not Lenore's kids. We know they're Raynar's, and of course the Strongs, of the Strong family. And the queen ends up grabbing the king's dagger, which of course is the house dagger, the one that he had shown excuse me, that he had shown Rhaenyra, thank you, there we go. Fuck me, man, these names are just gonna fucking kill me. Rhaenyra, the secret on the family sword, so that one, the family dagger, and cuts Rhaenyra with it, and that brings about an end to everything at that point. So, of course, Laenor is nowhere to be found because he's off, screwing his page or knight or whatever it is, and of course comes in after the fact. And he's like, you know what? He goes, I've been a shitty husband. He goes, I'm doubling down. I'm going to be faithful to you now at this point. I'm going to, I haven't done my duty, is what he says. In the meantime, Rhaenyra and Damon have gotten back together again, and at his wife's funeral, no less, the night of his wife's funeral, and of course, do it on the beach right before all of this stuff happened, of course, too. So there's that going on, and so Rhaenyra actually gets a good idea and says, "Hey, you and I, she's talking to Damon, should marry because I have the bastard children." You have just daughters, and you'll be, the betrothed prince in line to the throne kind of thing. That'll strengthen all our houses, and the throne will be ours. That way we don't have to deal with Allison, which of course she's going to be a problem. So Damon's like, that's great, but that means your husband needs to die. And she goes, don't worry, I could take care of that. So of course, we see Damon paying off his, Lennar's lover, I guess you can say, to for a death, and we see a fight start between Lenore and his lover, of course, in the courtroom, or in the, I should say, the throne room, if you will, of Driftmark. And we only see the aftermath. We see a body in the fireplace, charred from the waist up. Um, we see that this guy, who of course supposedly killed Lanar, later on getting on board a boat. He's going to go across the nameless sea where no one's names matter. And then of course we see Lanar with a shaved head following him into the boat as well. So obviously he's faked his own death. He wants to live his own life. He wants to be free of all of this, and this leaves Rhaenyra and Daemon to marry and strengthen their house. And we also saw during the whole thing with the queen grabbing the dagger and going after uh, Rhaenyra's kids, we saw a definite line drawn in the house there. We saw who was on Rhaenyra's side and we saw who was on the queen's side. And also, if you didn't notice, Otto is back too. Otto Hightower as the right hand of the king, or the hand of the king, if you will. And they're both wearing green, if you notice that too. So they're ready to go to war at this point. Raymond says, one thing I was confused with was what did Rhaenyra and Daemon plan on faking Laenar's death, or did he get the drop on them? No, they planned it. So she's always been open with Rhaenyra on all of this, and or excuse me, Lanar. There we go. She's always been open with him on all of this. I'm fairly sure he didn't want to be king. He did not want to be the ruler of Driftmark. He wanted, especially after his sister died, he had, as the actor said in the after credits, he goes, his character basically did a self check after his sister died and said, hey, am I living the life that I want to live? Or am I just going to wind up dead, not fulfilling what I wanted to do? And that's where his heart to heart comes from at all of this. But still, we have the family contention going on and all of this at the end. The queen, of course, and the king having more dragons than everyone else because that's what they're supposed to have. And yeah, and the House Targaryen uh, doing what they do best, which is interbreeding. Dante S says the king and Corals are on the same page with the kids. Yes, yes, you're correct. And Dante says the show tried to trick the audience with his "I'll be a good husband now" speech. Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah. So we're gonna have another time jump in the next episode. If you didn't watch the trailer for next week, because it was again right after the credits, and it looks like we jump about, I want to say like another 10 years, something like that, maybe 5 years. I don't know. It's enough where we get to see the kids kind of grown up a bit, and they are now getting ready to go to war at this point. Raymond says, "Do we have a dragon count? How many versus how many?" Well, we know that King Viserys, his kids all have them, so that's except for the daughter. So that is three dragons. Is that right? Yes, that's three dragons to Damon's two dragons. And I believe that Rhaenyra also has her dragon as well. So it's 3-3, I think, at this point. But the king does have the largest dragons in, King's Landing there. Is it four, maybe? They might have four, actually, now that I think about it. So I want to say I saw 3 flying away, but there might have been 4. I don't know, it was kinda dark, so it was hard to tell. I'm sorry, I had to come back around again to all of that. So yeah, it's, Dante S says, "All the kids have one, but Damon's daughter. Unsure about the kid Joffrey, though, he's still an infant." True. That is correct. That is correct. I know the daughter doesn't also have one on the king's side either. She's just Netters, or she's seeing the future. I'm pretty sure she's seeing the future because everything that she's saying sounds like it's something that's happening in the future. Yeah, I don't think the daughter is crazy. I think she's a seer or something like that. She's a witch burner. Sorry, it's a knee jerk reaction. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, this was a better episode than we've gotten, story-wise, I guess you can say, and all of this. And, unfortunately, though, we couldn't see a good majority of it. The editing was crap. The direction was crap. Um, so it almost killed this episode just because of all the other crap that was going on with it. And now we're gonna have another time jump, so we're gonna lose the kid actors, which is fine. And we're gonna have more tween, I guess, maybe more adult actors. Most likely they're gonna be late. They're gonna be 20-year-olds playing teenagers, is what we're gonna get. So there we go. Raymond says, "Do you think Viserys is going senile? He called Alicent by his dead wife's name." I think he's on his way out, Raymond. We do see in the trailer that he is pretty much bedridden by the next time jump, and that Alicent and Otto are the ones that are running the kingdom. And of course, Rhaenyra and Daemon are not really happy with that and decide to take matters into their own hands. And you know how well that's going to go, right? So yeah, um, it's going to be fairly ugly. And we know that there is also, some dissension going on in the Stepstones as well. There's something again rearing its head. Um, they keep talking about it, peripherally, every episode. If you're paying attention, at least, they say that there is another uprising, kind of like what happened with the crab feeder. They never took care of that problem. So it's growing again out there. And that is going to be another front that they're going to have to deal with. Otherwise, it's going to threaten the kingdom. So, yeah, that's where we stand on this episode. Lots and lots of stuff going on. But yeah, these time jumps, man, this is what's killing us on all of this. The time jumps are killing us. Um, the darkness, I mean, come on, man, just you could tell it was all shot in daylight too. That's the thing that fucking sucks. Just have it all in daylight. That was fine. Just, yeah. Um, Raymond says, so to be clear, this is the event that causes dragons to go extinct, right? Correct. Yes. This is the event that causes the dragons to go extinct because there's a battle, I believe, with the dragons. Is that correct? Something like that. And yeah, so there you go. Fight to the death. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Netflix's Rob Zombie's version of The Munsters. That's right. I watched that. I will be covering that for you guys. Wednesday is going to be Andor, and hopefully I can stay awake for that one. um, just by watching it. So hopefully I can stay awake. And Thursday is going to be She-Hulk, She-Hulk, the ever wonderful She-Hulk, which is great. Friday is going to be Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Saturday I'm going to be off. Sunday will be another episode. Well, I should say yes. The Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week, any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, we talk about it. And then, of course, we roll back around to Monday with House of the Dragon. And this is episode 7 here, I think. we have 12 episodes. Is that right? I think it's 12 episodes. Maybe it's just 9. Oh, I take that back. It's only 10 episodes. So next week is the Lord of the Tides. Um, not to be confused with the Lord of the Dance. Then we have episode 9, and then we have the Black Queen is the final episode. That's what it's called. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. This series compared to the first season of Game of Thrones, the first season of Game of Thrones is a lot better. It's a lot better paced, a lot better. Well, then again, it also doesn't have it doesn't suffer from the time jumps. That's the whole thing. That's where this series really gets killed is the fucking time jumps. The time jumps are just horrible. They really are. Um, yeah, it really is. So we'll see if they can stick the landing at the end here. You already know they have the second season. They already got greenlit for the second season, so we're okay with all of this. Do you think we'll get any White Walker backstory? Um, I don't know. Maybe Viserys is the White Walker. Who knows? We don't know for sure. You remember because he has that weird that fungus thing that keeps growing on him? Maybe he's the White Walker, you know? Maybe whatever that fungus is that's been growing on him is actually the whatever the cause is to bring him back as the White Walker. And he's the one that spreads all that shit. Like a zombie. So yeah. Um with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everyone who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of their videos. My vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, you can hit that subscribe button down below there, please. And also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there as well. Dante says, I went back and watched one season of Game of Thrones. If it wasn't my second watch, I would have been confused as hell. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for Is It Worth My Time? Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to fake your own death in order to go and live your best life across the sea, across the nameless sea, so that your name gets erased because no one's going to care because you have enough money to, well, you know what it is. It's an old story. Anyway, thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters, and get your flu shots too, man. I heard the flu is going to be nasty this year. I've already got mine lined up already. So, yeah, it's also you get your medical advice. Well, free medical prompting, I guess you could say here. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night and take care with everyone. Have a good night. See ya.